So we're going to play a league with this Rakdos Monument Persist deck. It's very similar to the Goryo's Monument build that we played 1 or 2 weeks ago. I like that build. I think it was pretty solid. That one was playing Mox Amber and Gristlebrand and Borborygmos and trying to combo kill all in one turn. This one is instead trying to be a little bit more grindy and trying to persist or Emperor of Bones Archon of Cruelty, which gives you access to Street Wraith, which I think is a nice access that you couldn't play in that other build. And just kind of simply put, like this package of Monument, Asmo, Saga, Cookbook, Thoughtseize to a lesser extent has been like a really nice way to outgrind opposing decks, especially when they're interacting with your graveyard. So we're gonna play this in a league. Any plans to do early access today? So yeah, I guess I meant to mention this. This standard set, other people seem to be doing early access. The last like 2 or 3, no one has joined. I remember I had to call Dingo up one morning to please come play with me, and so like Dingo hit me up Thursday night and is like, "Are you playing the early access?" And I thought the metagame was still no early access, and kind of simply put, it takes me like 12 hours to build decks for the new set, and I spent like 16 hours between Tuesday and Wednesday making the video just talking about the cards. I have not had time to build decks, so no early access for me. I just simply, oh my, this hand is insane. I simply don't have the or didn't have the time. I guess it's insane. If they counter this, it ends up being really bad. But yeah, I want to be able to go discard Archon, Mox Opal, Thoughtseize. This is like the perfect hand. So it's like I would have tried to prioritize getting okay. So Dismember gets rid of my They concede the game. You conceded this game why would they do that? Why would they concede the game unless they knew I had Persist in my hand? Tilt? I don't know. I'm a little. Is this sus? I feel like it's a little sus. 1 land? I guess they could have just like they kept this hand. They mulliganed the 6. It's not that crazy. Let me sideboard real quick and I'll answer your question, Goon Squad. I think I'm going to be probably putting the hand hider up for game 2, just in case. If they knew your hand, they'd have countered the cookbook. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't know why they would concede there. It's very confusing. Like I'll just put it up. Like they might not be ghosting, of course, but I'm just confused. Okay, so yeah, about Basim Kethis versus Halfling Kethis. The Basim seems to offer both a nice source of card advantage and also a plan B, kind of akin to Urza Saga, where you're drawing a bunch of extra cards. The Basim also becomes a pretty big creature that's threatening your opponents, and it also gives you a slightly higher density of legends, which is pretty good. Something I think the deck kind of needed. And so I liked the Basim build more than the Halfling build, is the short one. Not sus, just a merfolk player being sad. I mean, I would say it's at the very least a little sus, but I think it could absolutely, I agree, be completely innocent. I'm just going to keep the hand hider up to maintain the integrity of the match. Okay, and this time they flare the Thoughtseize. I'm going to take the hand hider down. I'm going to take it down. They kept another 1-lander, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and kill the Aether Vial. It might lock me out of Asmo for a bit, but I want to wait on the looting until after I cast the Monument. Tracker with the 45 lens. Thank you. Welcome back. I thought Friday challenge was 10 CST. It is. Yeah, we're not starting the challenge. We're playing Basim in the challenge. This is my league deck, and I have Pauper High Tide, and I had Esther could tell you I was like, sweetie, I think I love Pauper. It was so cool. Yeah, the chalice counters Asmo, and then of course we just now draw the Asmo. We've got more Molten Collapses in the deck though, and also they kept a 1-lander. One spam it. There's a cheaper Japanese language only switch to, so not worth it unless you're interested in learning the language. We'll see. Yeah, probably will just pony up instead of downloading Duolingo.
Also, like, you know, I mean, I guess it's more portable than other consoles, but still, it's like bringing that over. Well, it's more portable, never mind.
Yeah.
I was thinking if it was like the size of a PS5. Like,
yeah, it shouldn't be. That shouldn't be the barrier, I think. All right, so it kind of seems like I'm interested in. So I have 5 mana right now. If I make a treasure on their turn, I'll have 6. If I untap and I draw a land, I can go hardcast Archon. So let's plan to do that. It's also like a small thing about the monument in this deck. Might just be better to draw cards though. The game price is the killer for me. Yeah, I mean, shit's getting more expensive. It sucks. Okay. So is there how do YouTubers draw that into like a 30-minute YouTube video? How do you go? This shit's more expensive and that sucks. How do you make that 30 minutes? Anybody know? How do they do it?
well, I could tell you.
Can you?
Yeah, you mention the history of it, and then you go into inflation and how
inflation,
and then you do a little bit of a tangent on It's Always Sunny inflation episode, and then
wait, what's the It's Always Sunny inflation episode?
it's when they bought the inflatable sofas, they were trying to
right.
sell them.
Right. That was a good one. Explain why it's more expensive. Can't do that. Anything but that. Anything you might learn from is going to be a non-starter for me. All right, so we get to go kill this. Kill the Chalice this time since I want to cast the Asmo this turn. Adjusted for inflation, the prices are very comparable to what they were in the 2000s. I don't know. I was a child. But maybe. I don't know. It's just never been like the most interesting thing for me either. Especially because I don't play a lot of video games these days. But yeah, I would like for them to be more accessible and affordable. Yeah, I built a version of Pauper High Tide yesterday, and maybe I don't know what I'm doing, but I had so much fun, and I won 2 of my matches, so that's enough for me. Good luck at pre-release. Wait, I guess it must be like it must be in Europe, right? I really like the Echo of Eons list. Do you plan a sequel? I mean, I like that deck too. There's like a lot to get to, right? There's a lot to get to, and we've got Tarkir coming out Tuesday. Maybe we should have been doing Tarkir early access, but I truly did not realize people were going to play it this time. Last time, like the last several standard sets, the modern streamers have not played the early access events. But I'm going to be taking Monday off and then using Sunday and Monday to finish deck building for Tarkir because it's just so much. It's just so much. All right, you ever hardcast an Archon off of treasure tokens? It has entered the battlefield. Do you prefer Kethis over Ascendancy variant? I mean, I haven't played the Ascendancy variant that's been popping up. When I tried to build an Ascendancy variant, I kept trying to squish Fate Stitcher and Chalice. And Faithless Looting, the card that's on the stack right now, into the deck. I was really interested in playing both of those cards, And I don't know, like it seems like maybe that was not a good direction to go. Because at the very least, every time I was building that, I'm like, this looks worse than Kethis, it looks worse than Brood-Scale, it looks worse than like any other combo deck you could play, and you're incredibly weak to Orcish Bowmaster. Like what sucks about Jeskai Ascendancy, like maybe even compared to Kethis or compared to most combo decks, is it's like you have to have a plan for if your opponent casts Orcish Bowmaster, and even if you have the plan, your deck is still really, really weak to it. Which is just such a headache for like certain combo decks like that, you know. All right, gonna keep this one. So again, it's possible Kethis ends up being a good deck. Or sorry, I mean yes, Kethis, but also Jeskai Ascendancy. But I didn't find the build that like 5-0'd the last chance. It's awesome that it 5-0'd the last chance. I for the card Orcish Bowmaster existing makes me a little bit dreadful about working on the archetype. Sure, I'm glad to win the die roll. And to top deck this Persist! What? Daybreak Games, are you there? My account needs fixing. Daybreak Games, if you can hear me, take me far, far from here. Back to 2012, that was a better year. All right. So I guess we'll just play this Faithless Looting, so I can kill both of. Well, I mean, making a construct is pretty dang good on this board, and so is killing both their creatures and drawing 2. Let's do that one. Oh, great. Oh, sorry. I guess I can now make a construct. I mean, I guess let's just go ahead and kill the cat, and then if they flip the Ajani, we get to attack the Ajani. Oh, great. Your turn. This game would look very different if we had lost the die roll, or maybe not very different, but somewhat different. Looting is also just like it's so good in this deck. Beyond just like enabling Archon, it's like. It's almost 1 mana draw 2 with flashback when you have some Daredevils. Okay, so Asmo down. But we're going to be making some constructs that are both large and in charge. Now, we're not playing Shadowspear in this deck because we're pretty in on the Reanimator plan. We have Shadowspear the sideboard for these kind of matchups. But that's going to be okay here, I think, since we... are going to make 2 of the biggest constructs you've ever seen. So up a game against Boros. We're going to want to bring in our Shadowspear. Now, as far as Graveyard Hate, what Graveyard Hate? Are they playing Thraben Charm? I don't think they're playing, like, Grafdigger's Cage. I haven't been keeping up much with the Boros list. Let me just take a look at Goldfish. I see some Stony Silences in the sideboard. Stony's really hard to deal with, but I can try to bring in some Withering Torments. See a 1 of Ghost Vacuum over here. Pithing Needle can be good for these kind of effects. Don't know if I'm going to bring it in for the 1 of that not everyone plays. Yeah, let me trim a Street Wraith, and I think I don't love the Emperor Bones, how fragile they are, but I guess it can just be good to like get rid of. I probably want Nihil Spellbomb also. I think I also want the Thoughtseizes. Maybe I'm just going to cut all the Street Wraiths. Let's try this. Okay, gonna keep this one. Obviously, we need to draw some mana, but we're on the draw, and I love having a Thoughtseize for a possible Stony Silence. I like having Cookbook, Daredevil, Double Monument, and there's the first land. kind of a scary hand. Let's take a Felia here, I think. Don't want them to go Felia into Fable, start flickering the Fable. Okay, they play Bombardment. Okay, we've drawn Runner Land, which is great. Is there a command to see my record in the challenge? Right now, there's not a command, but the on-screen record tracker should show it, but it hasn't started yet. It's starting in 30 minutes. On Fridays, I like to start like at the normal start time and then play a little bit before the challenge starts and then get into it. And that way, even if it goes poorly, we can kind of have a guaranteed or a more likely... Okay, it's kind of sad to graveyard that. More likely a longer stream. And then if I'm able to stream on the weekends, which is getting harder and harder these days, I start at 10 p.m. 10 a.m. Have I tried Urza Thopter Sword since Opal's unbanning? I haven't tried it just since the banning of Breach or the Opal unbanning. I'm kind of a big hater of that archetype. However, I did watch Corey play some of it, and maybe I need to reassess my status as a hater because it didn't look so bad. Draw 2 cards. Do weekends get devoted to wedding prep and renovations? I mean, yeah, that, and then also like all the other personal projects I'm working on is we don't have a lot of free time over here these days. I'm exercising every day. We're doing wedding prep. The renovations are honestly like at the moment the bottom of the list because I'm also like doing my game design stuff almost every single day, and then I'm trying to write every single day and exercise every single day and do as much reading as I can because it's really hard to write if you're not reading. And I'm doing the stream prep, but it's been good. I've been enjoying being busy and motivated. Is this I guess it's not all pairs here. All right, so draw a card, treasure token, treasure token. Okay, there's an Asmo, which is pretty critical. I assume you and us are going to have an MTG cosplay themed wedding. So my question, of course, is which MTG character I'm going to be dressed as. I'll be dressed as Scornful Egotist, my favorite Magic card. Which enchantments are you aiming for with Withering Torment other than Bombardment? So this being like a graveyard focused deck, being able to deal with stone, and also a artifact focused deck, killing Stony Silence and Rest in Peace and Leyline of the Void is something that's pretty important to have access to, despite those cards not being all that prominent in the metagame. Oh, opponent is a little bit asleep at the wheel here. Maybe I should have killed the Bombardment and first. Although this kind of works out that they are killing the Asmo now, so I can just play another copy. If only Corey B winning with the W artifact combo. Winning with an artifact combo. It's a bit like Gab and Waffle being the ones winning blue-white control. I mean, kind of. I do want to kind of look a little bit closer at his builds too, because I just you really are onto something here that Corey is pretty ahead of the game usually on this kind of stuff. Okay, I think we'll just discard an upkeep here. Then we get to draw 2 and then make 2 more treasures. No Archons in the top 25, but we get to draw, we get to see a lot more cards next turn. Play Pauper? Yeah, I played it last night, and I had so much fun playing Pauper yesterday. It was sick. I do really, really like High Tide. High Tide is Certainly kind of a pet deck. And I don't know, I just really like I like High Tide. Yeah, I'm gonna lead on the Saga here so I can have Monument online turn 3. Although it's kind of tempting to try to Surveil turn 1 to high roll an Archon. If I try Troll in this list, seems good with Emperor, Persist, Monument. Also good with Asmo. Yeah, might be correct. Might be correct. Can High Tide win against counterspell decks? That's what I lost to yesterday. I feel like I could have. There was one game I lost against them where if I had basically drawn any card besides my Stream of Thought, I think I was like kind of likely to win, but I drew Stream of Thought. But I don't know. It does seem like counterspell decks are bad for us, and let's lead on the Surveil land. I've changed my mind. It does seem like counterspell decks are bad for this deck, which is probably a good thing overall. It's possible that like Mingu's build is better against counterspell decks. He's also playing like Giga Drowse, and I just don't know that I know how to play with that card. I guess you just tap all their lands into turn. Maybe that's what we need to do. Yeah, maybe the first Giga Drowse just a Merchant Scroll for him. Yeah, that's also something that happened to me yesterday. Is my opponent was holding up all this mana. They only had 2 mana up, and then ooh, okay, I guess we're gonna go for this now. They had only 2 mana up, and I'm like, okay, great. Now I can go High Tide, High Tide, High Tide, and I can go off. And then all of a sudden, all of their mana, all their lands tap for like 4 or 5, and I'm like, oh, I've actually lost this game. Backup Asmo's nice. You could just time walk them most of the time. No, I don't. We're talking about Giga Drowse. I do think Giga Drowse is probably the plan. I had 4 Dispel. Maybe I'll cut the 4th Dispel or something, or the 6 Red Elemental Blast or Blue Elemental Blast. Trying to slot some new cards into Collector's Cage deck and Quarry Steel seems cracked. Yeah, I agree that card is incredibly good. I was watching Dingo play it in Standard yesterday. It looked really good. I'm like, I'm so thirsty for this card. I wish I was like ready for the early access stuff. I just assumed. No one told me until the night before that they were planning on playing, and my process just takes too long. I didn't have time to make this video and prepare, I guess. We're playing against Burn. Okay, well, food tokens against Burn, pretty good. Yeah, Dragonstorm. So my plan for Dragonstorm is it actually releases Magic Online Tuesday. I'm going to take Sunday to deck build. I'm going to take Monday to deck build. I'm going to take Saturday to finish my taxes. And I'm going to Searing Blaze my Asthma pretty good. I'm take and then I'm going to take Monday off the stream to finish deck building. I want to have as much ready as I can by Tuesday, and then just really hit the ground running, doing longer streams, ideally all week next week. All right, get a Monument down here, and then I think I'm going to go Treasure Token, cast an Asmo. I finished Words of Radiance. I finished it a week or 2 ago, and then my friend who got me into the series loaned me Edge Dancer, which is the like 250 word or page novella in between Oathbringer, apparently. I have not liked this book so far, so I'm on like page 50 or something. So I don't know. I've not been a big fan of Edge Dancer. Maybe it gets better. He said it was worth reading, and I'm gonna finish it. Oh, awesome, Miro, cool. I think I need these for Graveyard Hate. So, yeah, I think if they're gonna have like actual Rest in Peace, not artifact-based Graveyard Hate. At least that's how it used to be. Maybe times are changing. The life loss is pretty tough. You can skip the novellas. I love this from Archive. I skip the novellas. I'm gonna read this one because my friend Alex, who recommended this series to me, said it was worth reading, and it's getting somewhere. It's getting somewhere. Chat wire stocks crashing. It's impossible to pin it on anything. Impossible to point to anything for the stocks crashing. It's really anybody's guess. I'm gonna mulligan this on the Dragon Spurn, I think. It's like book 1 or 2 the most. I don't know. I don't know. They're pretty close, I think. I probably give it to the Wave Kings over Words of Radiance, but I like both a lot. Why did you choose Persist over Goryo's? Bobo was a blast to see. Well, you know, we're continuing to push ideas on the Brew channel, and like that build was like all in combo. This build gets to be a bit slower and grindier, which I think is interesting to me at least. All right, let's keep this. Yeah, it's probably because Deathray Shaman didn't get unbanned that the stocks are collapsing. All right, opponent's got a mountain. Yeah, it is wild. Dragons of Tyr came out 10 years ago. Like, it was such a sweet plane. It took them so long to come back. In fact, I was kind of thinking about this. It kind of seems like maybe it took them so long to come back to... It took them so long to come back to the plane because last time everyone made fun of them for Dragons of Tarkir. Like, I think Fate Reforged and Khans, at least in my memory... These two sets were like a lot cooler and a lot more popular. And this is largely because Dragons was kind of a gimmicky version of a really otherwise cool plane. A gimmicky version that's like, all right, everybody, there's dragons. You guys love dragons. Like, it kind of felt low effort. At least that's how I remember it. And like, I kind of always felt like they wanted to really cook with it and come back to it in a less gimmicky form, but no, we're back and it's still just dragons. I guess I'm actually just gonna go ahead and main phase game 3. You can't blame it with Sarkon's fault. I mean, I didn't mind dragons. I just remember people were kind of critical of the last set being kind of gimmicky. Yeah, Megamorph was also not a very popular mechanic. I have a first draft of Virtue Miniature. No, I don't like to look at people's drafts of new cards because I like to build them myself. I haven't been looking too closely at like the Sieves or Dingo's lists, but it's like I just like to build the stuff myself. You know, it's like my favorite thing to do is deck build in Magic. So I feel like when I get shared the new list, it's almost like I'm getting spoiled. So we'll get to them, but. Okay, my opponent might Chandra's Incinerator me. So what happens if they go double Rift Bolt me down to... okay, I'm going to fetch. I'm going to be at 21, minus 6, so 15, 13, 11, then 5. It's not ideal, but I think I should play this. I thought Dragons of Tarkir was sick when I got to Magic. I liked it too. I just remember that, like, I feel like the general vibe was not super popular on it. What if they don't have 2 Incinerators off the arena? I was counting only 1. I mean, they have 2 cards in their hand. If it's 2 Incinerators, I'm not going to be so upset to lose this game. Now all sets are gimmicky. Yeah, I guess they kind of are, huh? Draw another card here. Dragons felt like a downgrade from Khans. Yeah, I think so. I also liked Khans more than I like Dragons, but I'll say I didn't really dislike Dragons either. Yeah, I think I need to keep this up for Incinerator this turn, instead of playing around them drawing Skullcrack for turn, which I do kind of feel like their last card is a Skullcrack. They gave us Cowboys and race cars, so now Dragons are cool again. Yeah. No one talks about Fate Reforged. I like Fate Reforged a lot too. I thought Fate Reforged was cool. As my financial advisor, should I do pre-release after the hike to $52. Do you care about having a local game store? Because if you do, you should probably be supporting them, because it's got to be. I imagine a lot of local game stores are going to be closing. This hurts me a lot to discard a monument. Opponent, they've got a Path to Exile maybe. I don't have any basics left. Feeling likely to win this game. Okay, so we're 3-0-6-0. So surprised the deck can't find room for a fourth. Kind of think you could go down a land. Could go down to Basim. I don't know. I've been liking 3. I think that I probably need to try 4 at some point. It's obviously not a huge difference. Okay, Arid Mesa. We beat Boros mid range and we beat Burn so far this league. So if they cast this card, can they make any use out of it? If they have Seasoned Pyromancer, also if I Archon them, they're just not going to cast it, right? I think I'm going to leave it on top. All right, pretty good start. Last time they had a similar start, but we were on the play with a really fast Asmo draw. As it stands, we didn't even find a land that can cast this Asmo, so we're probably getting pretty cooked here. Well, I understand you don't play Budget Versions deck. Do you think it's worth playing an Asmo Monument deck without Opals? The Opals are really, really important, but I think if this is something you want to play at FNM, it'd be okay. I would not recommend playing it at a tournament without the Opals. Like, you really, really need the speed from them. Make friends with someone that has Mox Opals, maybe. So they flip the Johnny with a Discharge. I don't even know if top decking Persist gets us out of this. Yeah, we did the prediction like 40 minutes ago, then played the challenge match. Okay, well, I guess we'll find out. Okay. We've been sufficiently owned game 1 here. I'm going to bring in the Shadowspear. I'm going to bring in the Nihil Spellbomb. I'm going to bring in the Withering Torments. And then cut the Wraiths again. This is what we did last time, right? Maybe I'm going to play 1 Wraith, 3 Thoughtseize. Wild Energy's running Charm. I mean, Charm is really, really good and versatile. Really hoping we can finish this before the challenge starts. Looking kind of close. Torment is better than 2-mana sorcery. I think it is. I think that the instant speed applications of the card are really nice. I like being able to like kill their hate piece, untap and do the thing instead of like sorcery speed kill the hate piece. There's a Pauper High Tail that's going to play it. That's the plans. We're currently 3-0 in this Modern League, and then we're 1-0 in the Challenge. And the plan is after this Modern League finishes, what we're going to play in between rounds of the Challenge is the Pauper deck. Yeah, I think at FNM it'd be fine to play these kind of lists. Sans Opal. Okay, so I put back Marsh Flats. I play turn 1 Cookbook to make a Saga token turn 2. I guess I'll play both of them out. Well, does that make sense against Boros? I guess there's not much they can have. Like, it's more likely that they like remove the Opal and then I can't make a Saga token. Okay, Monkey. We're capsizing fools. My win condition is the replicate mill card. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember, but it's in the deck. I did kill someone with it yesterday. Most people just conceded before I cast Stream of Thought when I was testing it. I don't know if capsize legal. Capsize might be better. Although no, capsize it just takes so long. Yeah, capsize probably takes too long. Although I don't know. Might actually not. You can it is legal. Okay, maybe capsize is better because you can merchant scroll for it when you're comboing off. Yeah, then you can just play Shipwreck Dowser and kill them the following turn with it. Yeah, I know not modern legal. We're talking about Pauper. Talking about Pauper. Might be better. It also I don't know if there's like many hate pieces in Pauper. This is something I couldn't really figure out yesterday, but the fact that like it can bounce hate pieces is pretty cool. Yeah, you win after a capsize with your Shipwreck Dowser, which has prowess. So you just like you play one or two of those, and they have no board, and you just like kill them next turn. Yeah, I agree that the Arcane High Tide list was cool. I just wanted to play this one because it was different, and it's what I came up with. But this one felt pretty nice yesterday. Yeah, I think getting to play Capsize instead, the more I'm thinking about it, it does seem like a pretty big upgrade too over that build. Yeah, we'll mess with it later, but I kind of just assumed Capsize wasn't legal in Pauper. And what's nice too is that like the Capsize gets countered or discarded, it doesn't matter because you just have all infinite Archaeomancers to get it back. If they have a Wrath Disguise, I guess we can concede. They have a Static Prison, not so bad. Going after Shadowspear. That's surprising. So it's can flip this to Johnny, I guess. Okay, great draw. Although I don't know what we're doing with it. Yeah, I think we just want to go like pretty aggressive here and just give ourselves the option to go lose 3 life, lose 3 life. Yeah, just kind of incentivize this double chump. And then now that they have made this double chump, like the lose 3 life on like a 2-turn cycle to make them die to a single construct hit, like that's still available. That's still available next turn. So I think it's better to draw a card. We can look for an Archon of Cruelty, Asmo, land for turn. Okay, Seasoned Pyromancer. So this is a red permanent for a Johnny. This card is Celestial Purge and a Blood Moon. And then they're going to hit me for 4, I assume, with the Ajani. Oh, they play an Arena first. I guess if they have a Galvanic Discharge, they can kill a construct here. They don't have it, it seems, as they go face. Sorry, am I 1 or 2 theaters? I can't remember. I think it's 2. Yeah, okay, so let's go Surveil first, and then, we could find Archon, Asmo, etc., etc. Okay. Kind of punished for playing the land first, I guess. Not the flashiest, but let's gain 6 life here. They have no energy in their pool left. They might have another Blood Moon in their hand, too. You wouldn't drew Saga if you played the land first to Surveil? I guess that's true. Okay, another Seasoned Pyromancer. They did discard another Blood Moon, and they discarded a Bombardment. The Bombardment kind of surprises me. I guess maybe they just have a second copy. Okay, instead they have another Ajani. Am I dead? I might be dead. I guess they can't kill. They can't flip and activate the other Ajani this turn. Okay, so this is not looking great for us. We might need to find an Asmo. Maybe it was better to Spellbomb crack first in case we found Ovalchase or Archon of Cruelty. I think it's Asmo or bust, but it might be bust either way. With our Shadowspear gone. Yeah. Okay, so we're 3-1 in the league, unfortunately. I'm going to pay out the prediction to not be a trophy. I mean, this hand is turn 3 Monument, discard Thoughtseize. Oh, no, sorry. We would need a land for it to be that. I was counting the Mox Opal. We need one more. Okay, this hand's a lot better. Yeah, we beat Boros once this league and then lost to it once. So we also beat Burn. How do you kill with Capsize? So you just bounce your opponent's entire board, and then you play a bunch of the beefy Archaeomancers with prowess. You play or one or two of them, and then you'll just kill them with it next turn. Which is kind of convoluted, but it's also cool that you can Merchant Scroll for Capsize. I think Capsize is a bit more versatile. Interesting keep. I guess I take one of the talismans. It's kind of weird. Yeah, Pauper was so fun. I'm so excited. I don't think I've ever played Pauper on stream, but I had a great time yesterday. It's possible. I mean, at the very least, like brewing with High Tide is like really sweet. I don't know if I am gonna just develop a love for the format, but I think I'm discarding Asmo. It's kind of weird. But I just want to draw a land and go Monument, Street Wraith, tap Cookbook. Might be, no, it's definitely not Cookbook here because we can cast it this turn. The Replicate Mill card has utility going off a little bit, but like I don't know, it's so narrow. Okay, so we drew a land, kinda. Okay, so I can go... Okay. Dude, my opponent has saved me so much math there. No math required. So if they're playing Karn, I'm going to want the Molten Collapses, but it doesn't exactly seem like Karn is very popular in their decks at the moment. So let's try this. Brazil has a huge Pauper scene. It's great. Sounds great. We just have a single turn 2 Persist hand. I guess, we had Persist. A hand that can cast Persist on turn 2. I guess I have to keep this on 6, probably. Be a lot better if this land was untapped. They also mulligan to 6. Don't need the extra mana source because then we're going to have 3 mana next turn after we play Asmo and Cookbook and Opal. Alright, they rumble into Worldbreaker, Eldrazi Temple, Stomping Ground, and Rumble. They chose the Temple. I've not seen an Alpine Moon in a hot minute. Probably going to go down some Sagas post-board, I guess. Or for game 3, if we go to game 3. This Rumble sees an Emrakul, which they're probably not too far away from casting. Glad I didn't keep that second Saga. If you get Stone Raid on turn 2, I'm going to lose my mind. Well, this is their turn 3. They do play the actual card Stone Rain, so they can cast Stone Rain on turn 2. Okay, they do choose Emrakul, which costs 1, 2, 3. It costs 9. They have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they can cast it next turn if I don't kill a spawn. I mean, this is an okay draw. It would have been way better if I had that third land. But at the very least, this allows me to not get Emrakul'd next turn. Their hand is Eldrazi Temporal, Emrakul the Promised End, a mystery card. So pretty good chance of not doing anything this turn. There's the Temple. Maybe I miscounted and they can just cast the Emrakul. I'm pretty sure they're 1 mana short. It's possible I miscounted. I'm pretty sure it costs 9 and they have 8, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, they drew a Myco Spawn. So I may just go to game 3. Now, killing a spawn token doesn't stop them from Emrakuling me next turn. I'm one. I guess I'm several. Oh, wait, I drew Thoughtseize. I drew a card for turn. Although, are they just going to world break me? Maybe I should have already killed the spawn token. Okay, they forgot about World Breaker, which was pretty critical here. How good is Soy Myco Spawn? Very, very, very good. Best draw is Faithless Looting. Oh. Okay. Close one. Oh, right, the Alpine Moon. I guess I should have discarded the Saga instead, huh? Kept Persist. They remember World Breaker, unfortunately. Presumably they go after my only mana source, right? They go after a cookbook. I guess I'm happy enough that they did that. If I need the Persist, I got the Persist. Game 3. Come on, turn 2 Archon. Haven't had one of those yet. Alright, I forgot I meant to go down on Saga. A little late. How many Alpine Moons could they have? Yeah, I don't know if I want Molten Collapse to kill Alpine Moon. It seems like an option. I think an artifact that counters cast triggers like an Orb of Eldrazi would be cool. I sure would like any sideboard card that was like really good against Eldrazi besides Consign. Yeah. I mean, there's like a yeah, there's just not much. So yes, would be cool to have anything. I guess there's this one. Not always so good, but sometimes this does get the job done. Guess I could have attacked first. Okay, actually this is discarded one card from their hand. Their hand is all lands. Wait, they also didn't cast the Myco Spawn. I guess they wanted to Stone Rain me next turn. But forced into their graveyard. Getting Shatter Assumptions bugged. The biggest issue with red-green is they have very little card selection and no card draw. I mean, they have more card selection if they play Stirrings, which I've seen some builds doing. I know not every build plays Stirrings. Too bad we can't get the Monument down because we got Stone Rained. Awkward draw overall. And as far as no card draw goes, like I kind of feel like sowing Myco Spawn, Devourer, World Breaker, K commands, like their deck K return. Their deck is all 2-for-1s instead of actual card draw. So I don't know. Also, they should be playing Karn. I still think that cutting Karn is going to be a mistake in the long run. All right, Surveil, Archon into the yard, and then Persist it. Shatter my assumptions. Okay, so 3-0 to 3-2 in the league here. Eldrazi feels like Jund, huh? I have no idea how, but I'm curious. Okay, so in this challenge, there's 7 let's pop her.